All right, Big Bang, welcome to the Bears postgame show, the mid-show. Bears beat the Lions. This show is presented by Miller Lite. I think we got to start here. Justin Fields, I think he played really well. And I think we kind of have like a totem pole of thoughts on field. And at the bottom of that totem pole is White Sox Dave. So, Dave, I'd like to start with you.
I don't want anything to do with Fields or the coaching staff heading into next year. Today doesn't change that. However, today was fun. He looked pretty good, I guess. It was I enjoyed watching football today. It's been a while since I've said that at the professional level, and it's pretty nothing he can really do can change my mind at this point heading into next year. But I also don't care about picking between 8 and 12. So at this point, I'm just like, might as well win the rest of the games. You know, if they would have lost against Minnesota and then lost today, I would have said, yeah, lose out. No, I'm in like win out mode just because it's such a crapshoot where they're going to be picking. It was fun. He was good. Accuracy issues, some nice seeds on the flip side, but he was fine.
So win out, 4 games left, and he plays really well. Still, your mind will not change one.
No, because no. There's nothing. I mean, today was say a Super Bowl winning performance.
I think he played pretty damn well, Dave.
He played okay. He missed a couple wide open throws again. Does that happen against an actual team? Which I don't think the Lions are an actual team. I don't think so.
You don't think all across the league quarterbacks miss throws, regardless of how good they are, maybe outside of it?
Everybody does. He does it much too often and much too frequently. We shouldn't be in start, whatever. And today was a good game. He's gotten better. Nothing tells me Super Bowl quarterback. Even with today, which was a nice win, they put up a lot of points. And if you're not playing to win a Super Bowl, then what's the point? So,
I think for me, it's like, well, do we really want to just look behind door number 2, which is door number 35 at this point? They're just always doing this cycle of looking for a guy. So can Justin Fields be good enough? And you're right. Like, did he look like an MVP caliber quarterback? No. Does he look like a guy who, if you put the right pieces around him, you add Marvin Harrison, you get the defense playing better, you have a solid run game, solid protection, better coaching. Can he be a guy that can get you to the playoffs and win a few games? And then if everything's right, which has kind of been life as a Bears fan. Like, if everything else is right, then you can kind of stomach the quarterback play. I think he's trending towards being better than average, which I think is fine. So I think if you have games like today where he ran the ball well enough and, I don't know what he had for yardage, close to 200 probably. I'd say that's pretty good. Just take care of the football and, 223 and a touchdown, no interceptions, no fumbles. That's a great Justin Fields day when you add the almost 60 yards on the ground. That's 300 yards of offense. I'm on board with that. But you're right, Dave. Like, when he has misses, so I have like 4 that are sticking out in my head. He had the corner route to DJ Moore, the back of the end zone. Defensive back made a good play. He missed that one by probably 18 inches from being a touchdown. Ed, to your point, quarterbacks miss throws. The one over the middle to Moody in the fourth quarter, you gotta have that. He's open by 15 yards and he sails it like that. Those are the types of throws that make me mad. The Cole Kmet one as well. That probably should have been a walk-in touchdown. And he missed them. So like, he's always going to leave you wanting a little bit more. I can live with the ones where he, jump ball situation, back pylon to DJ Moore. He misses it by 18 yards or 18 inches. Missing throws by 8 feet to DJ Moore to seal the game. Those ones are going to hurt. But overall, I liked it. I am to the point now where it's like, I don't trust these quarterbacks at the top. I don't want to just continue on this cycle of rookie quarterbacks every 4 years. So I think I'm just picking up the 5th-year option, kicking the can down the road on Fields.
Okay, but I guess look at it this way for a second. The defense started off the year bad, right? Everyone
Horrible.
was calling for Eberflus's head.
Mhm.
Also, obviously, the offense looked bad too. So everything looked like it was dead. This game today, isn't it like prototypical what we expected this team to look like this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So I guess when you sit here and it's week, what is it? Week
14.
14? Yeah. I don't know. Like it's hard not to somehow let some of those thoughts seep in, right? Of like, hey, it just took them longer to figure out than we thought.
Yeah. No, certainly. Like this is I thought, I guess I had a little bit higher hopes for Fields heading into the season that but yeah, if he plays, a notch above where he was today consistently, then he's probably, top 10 quarterback and you're fine.
But listen, make no mistake, though, if you're taking this game in a vacuum, just this game, you don't even care about those misfires. It's just your long history with the guy and knowing what you know and seeing it before. That's what has you like, fuck, like this still happens. Like he's still shitting on the rug.
And Ryan, you're asking a bunch of questions. If he can do this, if he can do that, it's like how long is long enough for people to
totally fair. Totally fair. He's had a long time. I don't think he's ever had a very good line.
Now he has gotten incrementally better this year for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I think having a real weapon like DJ Moore, I mean, they needed to put that game away, and make some plays in the second half. And they just went to DJ Moore. I think he had like 10 targets in the second half.
But I think his line today was perfect.
I thought I did too. Just if he takes care of the football and then he can extend drives with his legs, that's really like that's got to be enough. That's better than most of the league. So
yeah, listen, of course, like, and I know too, the Vikings game was terrible. He had 2 costly fumbles. He missed a lot more throws. I thought the Vikings game was one of the worst games I've seen from him in a while.
Yeah.
So I get that I'm sort of speaking from both sides of my mouth. It's just, I don't know, when you want a guy to be really good, like that's kind of what you see. And this is what I expected, where he played to a level with a good defense. Like this is what the team should have been. This is what it should have been all year.
Yeah. No, and it's just like he's not an MVP guy. I think that's where it's like you have to define what you want and what you need in a quarterback and what's good enough. So Dave, you're basically like, if you're not a top 3-5 quarterback in the league,
you stink.
What?
You stink.
Yeah, I never said that either, to be fair. Yeah. Like you call me the biggest Fields homer ever. I never said that either. I said I think he's good. I think he's good enough to make the playoffs. I think he can win playoff games. Now, is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback? I don't know. There's only a few of those.
Right.
So and now if Dave's going to say definitively no, he's not, I could live with that too.
I don't think he is. But Ryan's exact point, like I say, people stink. Like the Lions stink. They're not a Super Bowl team. They stink. Like come on, that team's like Justin Fields. He stinks. Yeah, he's like a starting quarterback. Like if he's starting, like there's worse things for your team probably, hopefully,
right.
But he's not any good.
You're never like, oh, we got this.
Yeah, right.
Like we're down 37-33 with a minute to go. Like we feel confident. He's not that kind of a guy. He's
the opposite.
But Dave, how many guys are there of that in the NFL?
There's probably 4 or 5, right? I mean,
you gotta find him. You gotta find him.
Maybe
they can't.
Well, you can't quit when you this.
But I
can luck into one, right?
I do think that there is. I think there's something to be said where it's like, all right, we know what we are and we know what we're not. Can we build a winning, consistent football? I don't want to do another rebuild around another quarterback, another failed experiment. And I think Fields can get to that place where he's better than average, and then you better work like hell to keep everything right around him. And then also, you can't pay him like he's Mahomes. Like you have to be like, look, you're not Mahomes. We're not paying you the number 1 rate. Going for quarterbacks because that's not you, which I don't know why teams never seem to be willing to do that. I would just give him a fair offer, but don't pay him franchise quarterback money when he's not. So
yeah, that's next year he'll be a $20 million cap hit, right?
No.
Year 4 next year.
Yeah.
It's
5 year, the 5-year option where he'll be a big cap hit.
Yeah.
okay. Because
Yeah.
Ryan said 5th. I was like, wait, what?
So you have to declare if you're picking up the option or not.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I don't know, man. I was encouraged. I thought they put him in a great position to succeed today. That's exactly what we want. We want him getting 50 yards on the ground. And
then next week you'll see Getsy throw 43 screen passes.
okay, then is that Justin's fault, Dave?
Don't get your hopes up. Hope in one hand, shit in the other. Which one's gonna fill up first, Dad?
Speaking of shit, I gotta say it's kind of offensive how many people tagged you and that guy shitting in the utility closet at Soldier Field.
I didn't even notice people tagging me.
Dude, I was like offended for you how many people were saying that it was you.
I mean, it wasn't me. Well, I don't know what you want from me.
Are you above?
I swear to God, I did not notice one person.
What'd you say, Chief?
Do you think Dave's above shitting in a boiler room? I feel like that's basically a genius move. It's like your own.
I think when the chips are stacked against you, nobody's above shitting in a boiler room because you never know what could happen. But I largely think Dave would not shit in a boiler room, no.
Okay.
I'm a home turf guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but like, hey, everyone knows those Soldier Field bathroom lines are long.
It's tough.
So, like, I'm sure that guy, like, he was ripping chili and like Fireball and like a bunch of shit in the South lot before, and it just came back up.
You know what happened when he was in about 42 seconds into that line weight, Ed?
He pivoted.
His stomach went.
He had the rumble guts. It's a shame that your mouth is not on camera right now, so you couldn't see the whole thing.
That was intentional.
You got the Wilson from Tool Time. There you go.
Dave, you have a couple beers before this podcast?
No,
you did not.
I did not.
What? But all right. What do you say? You had some Miller Lights?
Yeah, I had one on the couch. That was a vibe. I woke up feeling like I was ready to watch the Bears again. It'd been a minute. I was ready to watch them. Yeah,
and like, listen, I think Dave, you said it earlier. The Lions are, while I am happy for the city of Detroit, like they need good things, and fuck the Packers. Obviously, I'm whatever on the Vikings, but I'm rooting for Detroit to win.
I like Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
A bunch of losers.
It's just a leaky team, man. It's just a very leaky team. Like they're a solid, good team. Obviously, they got 9 wins. They're 9-4 now. But it's just you can't help but watch them both times you played them and be like, oof, they've got a lot to clean up if they want to even win one playoff game in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna host a playoff game, and they're gonna play probably the Vikings. They're gonna play one of these shitty teams that currently have 6 wins. Okay, so they could win a playoff game.
Yeah, dude, listen, I don't know. If the Vikings and the Packers win, they're just going to be 2 out going into the rest with 4 games left. Like crazier shit has happened to the city of Detroit.
It would be very Lions to
blow this lead.
I would love it, actually.
It is kind of in their own hands, though, too, because they do have the Vikings twice in those last 4 games. So,
yeah,
it's right there for Minnesota, too.
So. Yeah, it is. Although I think their stock is definitely pointing downwards.
Yeah.
I think Dobbs came back to life, and obviously, unfortunately, the team from Green Bay, it looks like their stock is pointing upwards. So I don't know. We'll see overall kind of how that all shakes out. But
I gotta ask, Ed, are you guys afraid of Jordan Love at all?
Dude, people are going to kill me for this, and they're going to say that I'm being a hater. But at least last week, I think 3 things could be true. And I think Jordan Love's looking pretty good, obviously. I think you could acknowledge that the Chiefs' secondary is fucking awful. And teams that they've beaten recently all have bad defenses. And I think 3, Watson is a fucking stud. So, like,
how about 4?
Huh.
He's not as good as Aaron Rodgers. Like he's not like the boogeyman level good. He might just be better than average starting quarterback. And wouldn't it be nice to have
like
one?
Justin Herbert, maybe, or something.
I mean, that would be, I go back and forth on Herbert. So
Yeah,
I'll
that's tough.
No, but like, yeah, that's probably what you're going to do with Love. I'm assuming go back and forth on him.
yeah. So I don't know. Ultimately, when it comes to the Bears and today, like you won two straight. Bless you, Dave.
Thank
Uh,
you, Ed.
we definitely played ourselves out of a top 5 pick with our own pick. We'll probably be in like the 8 to 11 range, I would assume, unless if we just keep on winning. Which who knows if we look back and we're like, fuck, we're just winning 2 pointless games for a non-playoff year really screwed us out of Fashanu or Joe Alt. Like who knows if that's going to bite us, but it is what it is, man. I'm just thankful to have the Panthers chip right now. I'm thankful that a lot of guys on defense look like they're dudes, and that's kind of really it. I guess I'm just choosing to have a positive outlook right now.
This is playoffs, Ed. He's choosing to win out. He wants to win out. Let's go, Ed. It's
I
their
don't know. I mean, I don't. We're still.
I'll tell you what, nobody would want to play the Chicago Bears in the playoffs.
Well, that's where, like I said before, like I was texting guys this too, where someone was like, "Oh, like I like that you're like happy again. I loved your happy post game videos." And someone sent the Bo Bamba one to me too. It's like I like that too. Like I don't like being negative, but you got to call it as you see it. And this team hasn't given us much to be happy about since 2018. They just haven't.
No, they haven't.
You know.
But I mean, this was a good win today. I thought this was a solid team win. The offense looked competent. The defense looked more than competent. Montez Sweat, his impact on this team, you could feel it all over the defense where, quarterback has to get rid of it maybe a second earlier, ends up being an interception. He had multiple sacks, multiple pressures today. Gervon Dexter got kind of a cleanup sack coming through on a twist. Ngakoue, now that he's not getting kind of chipped and double teamed, and he's kind of just a free passing down only kind of guy. He's had a couple of sacks since Sweat comes in. So yeah, you're right. Like they have dudes, they're making plays. They look pretty. Really, I would say the last 5 games, they've looked pretty competent on defense. And then so this, I know you guys are people are bagging on the Lions, but it's not like beating the Panthers on Thursday night. Like that's a good win against a very solid football team. They might not be a Super Bowl team. But they're a very, they're a playoff team for sure. Like they're a way better than average football team, and the Bears really kind of put it to them today. They were the better team in all 3 phases today. So when was the last time we could say that?
And like we said, it's a much different win than that Monday night win against Minnesota, where our offense looked like fucking dog shit.
Yep.
And we won because of how good our defense was and how bad Josh Dobbs was. So it was a complete team win, and it's truly what we expected. We expected defense to be a lot better because we threw a lot of money at it, and we obviously had draft capital aging into experienced prime years. And then it was our offense, being what we thought from last year. We were putting up points like crazy last year, and then out of nowhere it just kind of stopped. So it truly was like what your prototype of what this season should have been and how it could have been. I mean, really, you look back now too. We don't believe the Denver game and the first Detroit game. Yeah, like playoffs are right there, and like we have a lot of meaningful football going into these last 4 weeks.
You'd feel so much better about everything, because this would be seen as like real progress. And it's like you overcame all the adversity from the drama at the beginning of the year with the coaches being fired and, Eberflus looking like dead man walking. He looks like he still kind of just has a dead guy face, but they have kept the ship together. They still compete hard. It feels like they've been growing every week, especially, the last 5 weeks. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see. It's nice to enjoy. Like we were talking about, do we even want to do these shows? Like this team is so fucking miserable. Now it's like, hey, you look down the road, you're not writing off the Cleveland game with Joe Flacco. And then you got Arizona at home, where they're trying to lose. Falcons at home, they fucking stink. And then a trip up to Lambeau to finish up the year. They had somehow, some way, they have a legitimate shot of finishing the year with a winning record.
I guess my question for you would be I think we go 9-8 and we somehow do finish if we do win out. I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion that we would pick up Fields' option, right?
I would pick up Fields'
I,
option.
I would think, but I could
Who
like
knows if they're
Poles
saying
could love Caleb Williams. He could love Drake May, and it could never even be a thought. And this is all a moot point. But you're in a position where I think you have a hard decision with your head coach son, right?
Definitely. You can't bring both back. They're both gone or they're both back, right?
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Why?
I don't agree.
I think you can.
We've all talked about how Justin Fields can't read a playbook. You're going to give him a brand new playbook next year? Like,
Not that he can't read a playbook. It says he has trouble looking off receivers.
vision. Okay, his vision.
Looking at different reads.
Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
So
fine.
you'd have to learn terminology, whatever. But I don't think, especially because they've had so much off the field things with the running back coach and defensive coordinator. I think you could absolutely be like, look, this was a mess, and we have an opportunity to go get somebody else, and do it that way. And I think that's I don't think. I mean, Everflus didn't even draft Fields. I don't think they're tied at the hip at all. Like you can evaluate them independently. One's an offensive coach or a defensive coach and it's an offensive player. So I don't think they're tied at all.
Yeah, but then you're also getting back in that situation where you're giving him his third guy in 4 years too, which we love to fucking do in this city.
So you're back in on Everflus then?
I'm not back on an Everflus at all. I think things get a lot more complicated than people realize. That's what I'm saying. Especially like catastrophically bad, like Mark Trestman, like deserves 2 years. Like, and listen, like you said, there has been a lot of weird, like not good things that happen at the start of the year. 2 years after finishing 9-8 at this season, it would be hard for grounds of firing, maybe.
Do you think he's done a good job?
I think the defense has stepped up tremendously in recent weeks.
That's not what I asked you.
What?
Like his job, the defense has stepped up tremendously. I still think Getsy is a disaster. I think so. That would be I think you got to get rid of Getsy, and it's like if you're getting rid of Getsy, then it's like I've fired both my defensive coordinator and my offensive coordinator. And Everflus might be a nice guy, and the defense has been salvaged this year since they got Montez Sweat. I don't think you can keep him.
Listen, I'd fire him 9-8 if it was my choice. Yes, I don't think he's going to be
Super Bowl winning. Wanted you to say.
I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning coach, but I'm just saying, if you look at it from the way the league works, there are just like standards, and there are like
Bears have set that standard. They did it to Lovie Smith,
and they did it with Nagy too. Like Nagy didn't have that fourth year.
Poles had to call and we're talking about why the defense has stepped up. Montez Sweat gets here. Ryan says like the last 5 weeks, the units look good as a whole. It has. Montez Sweat gets here. The fucking general manager had to phone down to the coach's box and be like, "Yo, play this guy." What are you talking about? Is he going to come back? Get rid of all of them. Start over.
Why do you want to start over again? Why do you want to?
Because it's not going to work for this. The unknown is like appealing to me here and there, I guess.
But I don't know. You have all this cap space. You have a quarterback that, let's say, they design a system. I watched the Ravens, the end of that Ravens game. They won again today. They beat the Rams. It's like, can you design something that works for Justin Fields? I mean, we've seen the offensive line take steps. We've seen him you said it earlier, he's taken incremental steps this year. You get him Marvin Harrison. Cole Kmet's looking like a player. Maybe you shore up, you get a better center in there. And it's just like, then it's like, all right, now can both units be in the top 15? I think that's pretty good as opposed to just stripping it all down.
I don't know. You're asking a lot of questions there that are open-ended that I don't think.
I'm not. I'm not though. I'm saying
it's all the questions we asked about him heading into this year. Oh, if you can get if you get him a number one wide receiver, now he needs a second number one wide receiver. Now he needs an even better offensive line. It's like, dude, he ain't the guy.
He's not Mahomes. I'm asking if he can be in that 10 to 12 range. And I think he can. And I think that's pretty good. And I'd rather do that than see what's behind door number 2, because maybe you get another Trubisky and you're in the same. We're going to be fucking.
Or maybe you get Mahomes. Or maybe you get Mahomes.
If you think Caleb Williams is Mahomes, then yeah, you take him. I don't think he is. So I don't want to go down that route.
I don't know.
Well,
You don't know that he's not, though. That's the point. Fields isn't.
I'll say this though, I'm excited for the way the schedule lines up. I do like that after a big win like this, and with how good they looked on both sides of the balls, I'm happy that our offense is going to have to travel to Cleveland and play a very good Browns defense. Like that's the kind of litmus test you want to keep going with, right?
yeah. And that was the worst game of Justin Fields' life, I would assume, the last time we had that fucking parking lot game out in Aurora for the 1985 promo. That was probably the worst football game I've ever seen.
We got set like 8 times.
Yeah, something like it was preposterous. It was one of those things where it's like, just take him out of the game. Like this is
he's gonna die.
Yeah, so you're right, Ed. Like this is kind of a measuring stick game, and it's like, Flacco's been okay for them, but it's Joe Flacco. Like, can the defense continue on this trajectory and limit them and get another W? Then you got the 2 at home in Lambeau. Like it's starting to get a little bit fired up because I'm a guy, I like to win, and I don't want to start over like Dave. So I would like to have a new head coach, but it's like, can you take this organization? Hey, like we went 9-8, the bones are pretty good. Does that make it more appealing to a Harbaugh? Because it's like the way it was before, or whoever they identify as the top coach. The way it was before, it's like, well, I'm taking the fucking San Diego job because they have a more established quarterback and they got some dudes on defense. Well, now it's like, well, we have kind of an established quarterback. We have the number 1 pick and we have some dudes on defense. So does it make it, and we're the Chicago fucking Bears. Can that make it a more appealing job to go get your big whale head coach? Because I think that's what they really need to set this organization, put them over the top.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to take it week by week, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm excited for that. Atlanta's a good defense too.
Yep.
So is Green Bay. So It's like you're facing. I don't know exactly how good the Cardinals' defense is, but you're facing 3 good defenses in the last 4 weeks, and I think that's a good spot for to more evaluation of Fields, which I know is going to make Dave's head blow up, and I understand because there's been 2.5 years of it already, but I don't know.
But like, I do think Dave would be singing a different tune if they had won that Denver game and they had closed. Hold on. If they had won that Denver game and they had closed out the other Lions game and they're sitting with 7 wins, they're 7-6, then I do think you're staring at the playoffs looking like, hey, like we're worried about playoff position at this point. Can we win the division? You would be. You would, and then you wouldn't.
I already said that. I want to win the rest of these games.
I don't know. If you were sitting there, because then the Lions would have one less win, you're looking at that schedule the rest of the way, you would not be saying, hey, take this team that can win the fucking division and start over. Like, you'd have to be insane to think that.
That's not what happened, though. They blew the game. Fields was awful. He was awful in one of the wins that put them in a position to talk playoffs. You're arguing all these.
All right, that's fair. I know.
What I am looking at is Justin Fields has had 38 starts going on 40 now, where he has had 1 300-yard passing game. Largely been bad, let alone mediocre, let alone good today, like he was today. And it's like, why are we even talking about this for a 4th and maybe a 5th year? It's not working. What points do you think, like, at what points do you think that he's going to all of a sudden lead you to what I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't care about winning the shitty NFC North. He'll probably do that next year too, because he probably will make modest improvements again. And, you know, that is a division that's there for the taking. So, I don't know.
7, 9, and 10, I was right. Defenses, so pretty good. Atlanta's 7th, Green Bay is 9, and number 10 is the Browns. And I was correct. The Cardinals are very bad. They're the 30th in points per game allowed. So, yeah, some good competition coming up. And we can leave it at that. We don't have to, we'll be arguing if Fields the guy or not for the rest of the fucking 2024. Yeah. So, good win today. Both sides of the ball look good. And I mean, it's really, like I keep saying, it's really what we expected to see all year. And we know we aren't going to win every game, but I expected today's result and today's performance to be what happened more often than not. And that was not the case for this year. So here we are. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
It was fun today. I had fun watching the game today.
Yeah, it was good. Anything else?
Nope.
I'll see you boys on Monday.
All right. See you guys.